Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. And in today's video, I am taking you along on a week-long clean. This is just short bursts of cleaning throughout 7 days. This first day was a Friday. It was the Friday after my trip to the ER, and I will tell you about this whole ordeal a little bit later on in the video. But this was the first day that I was even close to feeling back to myself, and the house was a total disaster. This was the week where my husband had a workshop in Taiwan. So he was working through the evenings and sleeping throughout the day. And so with me going to the ER and just not feeling like myself for half of the week, the house really was just a total disaster. And there was so much to get done. So come along with me and let's get cleaning.
From my window, sun's coming up like the day before. You're like a stone on my pillow. I don't make a sound when I shut the door. You don't have to wake up yet. We can spend all day in bed. I'll put the TV in the room. We'll have a Netflix marathon. Kenny G saxophone. We'll order in a bunch of food. I'll put your favorite music on all the way baritone.
So I had just gone to Marshall's and gone shopping. That is my absolute favorite place to shop. And while I was there, I found this whole set from the Pink Stuff. It came with an electric scrubber with all of these different interchangeable heads, and then the paste from the Pink Stuff. So I'm super excited to try out the paste. I've already tried out the electric scrubber whenever I was over at the elderly couple's house, and it really has a lot of force behind it. I'm super excited to try it in different areas in my home. I know I want to clean out the drains in my bathrooms. I think they're pretty gunked up and gross, so that's going to be a super satisfying clean coming up, and I want to try it possibly in my shower and then in my kitchen sink as well.
Shut the lights, go infrared. We can spend all day in bed. I get the wine and the corkscrew. marathon, Kenny G saxophone. We'll order in a bunch of food. I'll put your favorite music on all the way baritone. Shut the lights, go infrared. We can spend all day in bed. I'll put the TV in the room. We'll have a Netflix marathon, Kenny G saxophone. We'll order in a bunch of food. I'll put your favorite music on all the way baritone. Shut the lights, go infrared. We can spend all day in bed.
So this is actually later in the day after I had gotten done working, just getting some laundry transferred over. I had started my sheets in the morning and my husband had already put them in the dryer and I had pulled them out. So I was just getting another load moved over. You probably won't see me doing a whole lot of laundry on this channel. My husband does probably 60 to 75% of it. And I typically, when I do laundry, it'll be like washing sheets, washing the throw blankets, the pillow covers, things like that. So all of this stuff that is just like not your regular clothes that are throughout the week. I don't know how we kind of came to that system whenever we first got married. It just kind of fell into place that he does the laundry around the house. And I am super thankful for that because I am super forgetful. I will start a load of laundry, forget about it, start it again, forget about it again, start it again. It's awful. I don't know. I can't ever seem to remember to move everything over to the dryer. So stuff ends up getting washed 2 or 3 times. So he definitely helped me out this day in getting lots of loads moved over to the dryer while I was working upstairs in my office. So this is the second day of cleaning. It is a Saturday morning. I am feeling a whole lot better by this day after my trip to the ER on, I think it was Tuesday. No, it was a Wednesday night. Anyways, I had several days to recover, and this was the first day I had felt just 100%. I was feeling really, really good. So this morning, I just wanted to give the house a good reset. Later that day, I went over to the elderly couple's house to start cleaning their bathroom. And I was over there for 3 days of cleaning. In hindsight, I probably should have given myself a little bit more time to rest and just to recover. I definitely overdid it while I was over there, and I paid for it later on in the week, but that's okay. I got it done. I was really happy with how the elderly couple's house turned out. If you haven't seen that video, definitely go watch it. It is super satisfying. But anyways, I just wanted to get everything picked up this morning. I spent about 2 hours just resetting the downstairs before I got going that weekend. So my trip to the ER this week, it started off on Tuesday evening. I had an appointment with my dermatologist. I had a laser done on my skin. I get a few each year. I deal with melasma, so I get different treatments to try to keep that under control. Anyways, I had this laser done Tuesday night. It typically makes my face very red and swollen. It's pretty painful. I take ice packs with me and I ice for a few hours. I take about 800 milligrams of ibuprofen just so I can get a good night's sleep. The next day, my face is even more swollen. It looks a little scary. My skin's very red. All of the pigment kind of comes to the surface, all of that hyperpigmentation. It's something I'm used to, it doesn't really faze me at this point anymore. But I do think this was a huge contributing factor into triggering a migraine that started coming about that Wednesday afternoon into the evening. I do already get migraines. I'm prone to them. I don't really know what causes them overall. I think allergies contribute to it, dehydration, but I think this time, as much as I don't want to admit it, I do think the laser triggered my migraine this time. So it started off Wednesday evening. I took some of my migraine meds. They're just kind of like a rescue medication whenever I do get one. And so I felt better after taking one. I went to bed that evening. Everything was fine. And then I was woken up at 1:30 in the morning in excruciating pain. My head felt like it was about to explode. The only way I can describe it, it feels like someone was taking a blowtorch and a sledgehammer to my head at the same time. It was awful. I took more of my migraine meds. I got an ice pack. And I just waited for it to go away. Typically, the meds will kick in about 30 minutes. And I waited 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, and it just kept getting worse to the point where I was like in the fetal position on the floor, hovering over my toilet. I was dry heaving. It was awful. And I know my husband had been up until at least midnight on his call with Taiwan. And so I know he needed sleep. And so I was just trying to get through it the best as I could. And it was just not getting better. Nothing was helping. I just broke down and finally went upstairs to his bedroom. And I was like, you've got to take me to the ER. I don't know what else to do. It was awful. So he took me to the local ER. Thankfully, it's just down the road, less than 5 minutes to get there. And they gave me some medication. They did kind of like their first line of defense. It was like Benadryl and some anti-nausea medication, and that made me sleepy, but it did not even touch the pain. And then they did an IV and gave me more medication. I don't even remember. I'd have to go back through my paperwork. I was so completely out of it. I don't even know what they gave me. But it finally took the edge off to where I could go home. So we got home about 5:30 in the morning. My poor husband got like 1 hour of sleep that night. I felt so awful for him. But you know, he loves his wife, so he did what he had to do. It was definitely a rough next day for us. He, you know, still had to work. So he tried to get as much sleep as he could. But yeah, it was not a fun evening.
running from all things at once without thinking twice. And I knew it would catch up and that we would be the ones left behind. The stories I've been told, they never seem to leave my mind. And this road that I am on, I gotta stay here for some time.
It is funny watching all of this back and realizing that I actually don't clean under my cushions very often anymore. And back in the day when our little one was a toddler, this had to happen every single week. There would be like basically a whole container of goldfish or Cheez-Its, all sorts of snacks in there. We do like to eat on the couch. That's something we're not going to stop doing. It's fine. But now that he's older, he knows how to get the food into his mouth a little better. So if you are in the thick of it with toddlers, multiple young ones, and you're just going crazy cleaning from underneath the couch cushions and underneath the couch, there will come a time where you're not having to clean up underneath there so often. Just be patient. It will come. That's not a part of having a toddler that I miss. Not at all. I'm so thankful that I'm out of that phase of my life and putting all of that behind me. He's still a little messy. There is still stuff underneath the cushions a little bit. And I'm washing all of the pillowcases. He is a little messy. He does get stuff on the pillowcases. He was eating some sort of special Doritos and he got stuff on those Christmas pillowcases. So I just gave everything a good wash before Christmas, before we had guests over. But yes, definitely a huge improvement over 10 years ago.
Time is gone and I grew up. I somehow made it through without losing sight. And I still wonder where you are and if you found a way out from the dark. The stories I've been told, they never seem to leave my mind. On this road that I am on, I gotta stay here for some time. Bruises, they come and they go, and we have to try and keep up, 'cause this life's so much more. And I still wonder
So this is on the third day. I had been cleaning over at the elderly couple's house, and I just kind of started feeling not like myself again. My head was hurting again, just feeling absolutely drained and worn out in every single way. But my son's room really needed a good deep clean. It needed a mom clean. The last time that I had been in there, kind of just picking up, I was noticing all the dust and stuff under his bed, and I just kind of left it at that time. But I knew I needed to get back in there and just sort through some items. We just kind of been shoving stuff everywhere as we were picking it up just to get it out of the way. But it was time to go through all of it, definitely before Christmas, before we brought some more stuff into the home. Over Christmas break, we are going to continue working on redoing his room. So we're going to do a board and batten wall behind the bed. So I will definitely be filming that, and hopefully that will be something that I can air later in January. I'm super excited. My son Landon helped me kind of plan out the wall and do all the spacing. I'm really trying to involve him in the project. Just something that we can share together and make memories together. I'm sure there's going to be lots of frustration. My husband's going to teach me how to use a saw, so I'm super excited / terrified about that. So stay tuned for that over the next coming weeks. I have to say it's not too bad under his bed. I know that kids have a tendency to shove things up underneath there, and it's been a very, very long time since I've really looked up underneath the bed. So it wasn't too bad, but it was definitely dusty. A few things up underneath there that he needed to throw away. He had a sleepover recently, and the boys had clearly spilled something on the wall and the carpet. I still need to steam clean the carpet, so I'll probably do that before we get started on that board and batten wall. But I really wanted to get this whole wall cleaned before we started putting everything up and doing all of the work in here. of the furniture. I have a bucket with hot water and a little bit of Dawn dish soap and a microfiber cloth. I have been washing all of our furniture this way for years. I love it. I don't really like to dust in the bedrooms because I feel like all of the dressers and drawers get touched a lot. So I do like to wash it. I feel like I don't know, it's just for me a little bit more sanitary and clean. I feel like just dusting, it doesn't feel clean unless I actually wash it. I do dust in areas like I'll dust the entertainment center and the secretary's desk and sometimes the buffet in our dining room. But everything else I like to actually wash. And yeah, I've been doing it this way for years. I love it. It just feels more clean to me and it doesn't leave a residue. So cleaning this room was all the energy that I had for this day. My husband actually put the sheets back on his bed for him. I just did not have the energy to get to it that day. And so now I am on to the fourth day. Christmas is coming up and I know that there's so much to get done around the house. We just had so much stuff stuffed in our fridge that was old, needed to be thrown out. I knew we were going to have a bunch of Christmas food and leftovers, so I needed to clear everything out to make room. Had really been neglecting the fridge every week as I had been grocery shopping and adding things to the fridge. I had noticed that there are crumbs and stuff that had spilled everywhere, and I'm typically pretty good about picking all of that up and giving everything just a quick wipe down once a week. But just over the past month or so, I've just been busy and I've not been doing it. So I really wanted to get this tackled before the holidays and knock it out. So while I was able to get the main part of the fridge pretty clean, I did not get to the doors. There is definitely in all of those storage spaces, I need to pop them off and just soak them and get them really clean. I still want to pull all the drawers out and probably wash them, but I was pretty pleased with how the fridge turned out. It definitely looks a whole heck of a lot cleaner. I am just giving everything a good wipe down with my all-purpose cleaner. It's just a mixture of water, rubbing alcohol, and a drop or two of dish soap and a little bit of essential oil just to make it smell good. Been doing it this way for years. Sometimes in between during the week, I may give it a quick wipe down with a disinfectant wipe, but this is how I typically clean it. And then when I deep clean it, I pull everything out and actually wash it in the sink with dish soap. So I had taken all of these pillow covers off to wash them. I think it was Saturday morning, and I actually did not get them on until probably Wednesday. So it had been a very, very long week. I was really struggling. I still had to work, and I was just struggling to get stuff done around the house. I was just doing it as I had the energy to get everything done. So don't be deceived by all of these cleaning videos thinking we're knocking it all out at once. We absolutely are not. And then after I had started feeling better before Christmas, I had about 2 good days. And then on Christmas Day, I got hit with a cold. And so if my voice sounds funny, I'm still dealing with a cold days later. So it has been a very, very rough 2 weeks, but I know I'll be feeling better before the new year, and I'm ready to kick off 2024 with a bang.